Good morning and welcome to the Next Play 6-7. I'm your host, Darkel. To all my players and players, thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. It takes less than 3 seconds and it's always free. I want to begin today by saying the answer to yesterday's quiz was who was the black Babe Ruth of baseball? And his name is Josh Gibson. And the quiz question for today is, who was the oldest rookie of the year? What was his name and how old was he? Okay, getting back on the word of the day, you can't help what you feel, but you can help how you behave. And that was the great Margaret Atwood. Okay, and the word with the meaning today is rich, which primarily means having a lot of money and material wealth, or having a large supply of something valuable and useful, an abundance of a quality, deep sensory traits, or high productivity. Okay, in a sentence, the rich entrepreneur donated millions of his dollars to build a new public hospital. Rich in that aspect, in that sense, would mean financial and material and money in this country. But the main thing to me that I started to realize as I got older, that the true wealth comes from inside and happiness. Because, you ever heard of money can't buy happiness? Well, it's so true, because there's been many times in my life that I had money and I was happy, but it wasn't the money that made me happy. When you come to understand about what happiness really entails and what really riches really mean, you will understand it means different things to different people. Now, greedy people, mainly a lot of the rich people, they're greedy to the riches, but that don't mean that they're happily and they're rich within inside. They don't have true joy. Joy is something that can never be taken away, and it's being rich without being rich. As far as materialism, it has nothing to do. It's how you feel from the inside out, and it's something that's a decision to be rich. You can have nothing and be the richest person in the world. So many examples of that. Mama Gandhi spoke of it. Also, the lady that helped the poor in Calcutta, Mother Teresa. She wasn't rich, but she was rich in her soul because she loved to help people. And that's what I really mean by being rich comes from, it's a decision, it's from inside out. Okay, so getting with the baseball, the WNBA scores first. The Aces defeated the Liberty 104-99. I'm scared to meet them in the playoffs because they got the Jordan of women basketball right now, and she's in her prime. Her name is Asia Wilson. She had 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Her Batman and Robin, she's the Pippen on that team. That Jordan had Pippen. This is Pippen of the Aces. Her name is Jackie Young, and she's a monster. She had 29, 2 rebounds, and 9 assists. In a losing effort, Liberty, Breanna Stewart, she had 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 assist. The Lynx defeated the Tempo 104-72. The Sky defeated the Sun 94-88. In Major League Baseball, Tampa Bay defeated Texas 3-2. Miami defeated Kansas City 4-3. Chicago White Sox bested the Yankees 2-1. Chicago Cubs defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 4-2. Cincinnati defeated Pittsburgh 3-2. My Mets defeated Miami Marlins 4-2. Atlanta defeated the Nationals, the Braves, 5-4. San Francisco defeated San Diego Padres 4-1. and Boston defeated Oakland 5-4. And the Los Angeles Dodgers, bested the Seattle Mariners 6-2. Okay, I want to get back to the Black Babe Ruth. They say he hit over 800 home runs. But who knows? Because, they wasn't counting them like they count them for Major League Baseball. Because at that time, there was a lot of racism on in this country. But the best players was in other leagues. Like you had the Puerto Rican League. You had leagues in Cuba. You had players coming from all Dominican Republic. You had the best players was in the Negro leagues. But they couldn't get in the league. That's why Jackie Robinson broke that barrier. Okay, Joshua Gibson was born. Okay, where's his life story? Okay. Joshua Gibson was born on December 21st, 1911 in Buena Vista, Georgia. He batted right, threw with his right. He was an American professional baseball catcher who played primarily as the Negro Leagues. In 1972, he became the second Negro League player to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Gibson played for the Homestead Grays from 1930 to 1931. Moved to the Pittsburgh Crawfords from 1932 to 1936. And returned to the Grays from 1937 to 1939. In 1942 to 1946. In 1937, he played for the Ciudad Trujillo and Trujillo's Dominican League. See, they played all around the world, Cuba, Puerto Rico. And from 1940 to 1941, he played in the Mexican League for Azules de Veracruz. Gibson served as the first manager of the Cangrejeros de Santurce, one of the most historic franchises of the Puerto Rican Baseball League. Gibson was known as a spectacular power hitter who by some accounts hit close to 800 career home runs. In the Negro League, statistical records, his career home run total was 166. And the Major League Baseball recognized as 171. He was known as the Black Babe Ruth. In fact, some fans at the time who saw both Ruth and Gibson play called Ruth the White Josh Gibson. How about those apples? Gibson never played in the American League or the National League because of the unwritten gentleman's agreement that prevented non-white players from participating. He stood 6'1", 210 pounds. At the peak of his career, he was the first player since Oscar Charleston to win consecutive batting triple crowns, leading the league in home runs, runs batted in, and batting average. And no batter has achieved that feat since. On May 28, 2024, Major League Baseball announced that it had integrated Negro League statistics into its records, giving Gibson the highest single season Major League batting average at 466. That's better than what's his name, Ted Williams of the mighty Boston Red Sox. So his batting average was 466 in 1943 and the highest career batting average at 371. Josh Gibson was born to Mark and Nancy Nee Woodlock. Gibson had a younger brother, fellow Negro Leaguer Jerry, and sister. In 1923, Gibson moved to Pittsburgh and his father found work at Carnegie, Illinois Steel Company. Entering 6th grade in Pittsburgh, Gibson prepared to become an electrician, attending Allegheny Pre-Vocational School and Conroy Pre-Vocational School. His first experience playing baseball for an organized team came at age 16, when he played third base for an amateur team sponsored by the Gimbel's department store. How about that? Where he found work as the elevator operator. Shortly thereafter, he was recruited by the Pittsburgh Crawfords, which in 1928 was still a semi-professional team. The Crawfords, controlled by Gus Greeny, were the top black semi-professional team in the Pittsburgh area and would advance to fully professional major Negro League status by 1931. In 1928, Gibson met Helen Mason, whom he married on March 7, 1929. When not playing baseball, Gibson continued to work at Gimbel's after he had given up on his plans to become an electrician to pursue a baseball career. Memphis Red Sox in 1930. In the summer of 1930, the 18-year-old Gibson was picked up by the Memphis Red Sox for a game in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Despite going 2 for 4, Red Sox manager Candy Jim Taylor was not impressed by Gibson and said afterwards that he would never be a catcher. The Negro Leagues generally found it more profitable to schedule relatively few games and allow the teams to earn extra money through barnstorming against semi-professional and other non-league teams. Thus, it is important to distinguish between records against all competitions and records in leagues by games only. For example, against all levels of competition, Gibson hit 69 home runs in 1934. The same year, in 52 league games, he hit 11 home runs. In 1933, he hit a batting average of .467 with 55 home runs in 137 games against all levels of competition. His lifetime batting average is said to be higher than .350, which only with other sources put in as high as .384, the best in Negro League history. Major League Baseball announced that the Negro Leagues 1920-1948 will formally be recognized as Major League. Ongoing research by the Baseball Reference tabulated that Gibson led his league 3 times in batting average and once for all major leagues, most notably hitting .417 in 1937. He also led 6 times on base percentage and slugging percentage 8 times. Gibson's Hall of Fame plaque claims he hit almost 800 home runs in the league independent baseball during his 17-year career. This figure includes both semi-pro, competition, and exhibition games. According to the Hall's official data, his lifetime batting average is .359. Wow. It was reported that that's like getting a hit every 3 times up. So you rarely made it out because you get up like 4 times a game, right? So wow. It was reported that he won 9 home run titles and 4 batting championships playing for the Crawfords and the Grays. It also believes that Gibson hit a home run in a Negro League game at Yankee Stadium that left the stadium. There's no published or film account to support this claim. Washington Senators owner Clark Griffiths once said that Gibson hit more home runs into Griffith Stadium distant left field bleachers than the entire American League. A 2020 article published by the Society for American Baseball Research provides the supporting details for his homers in Major League parks. Statistics. The true statistical achievements of Negro League players may be impossible to know, as Negro Leagues did not compile complete statistics or game summaries. In late May 2024, Negro League statistics were integrated into Major League Baseball stats, and Gibson is now at the top of the leaderboard in many categories. Based on research of a historical account performed for the Special Committee on Negro Leagues, Gibson hit 224 home runs, 2,374 at-bats against black teams, 256 at-bats against white Major League pitchers, and 44 and 450 at-bats in Mexican League. John Highway lists Gibson with the same home run total, a .351 career plus batting average, going 21 for 56 against white Major League pitchers. According to Holloway, Gibson ranks 3rd all-time in Negro Leagues in average among players with at least 2,000 at-bats, trailing Judd Wilson by 3 points and John Beckwith by 1. Holloway lists as being second to Mule Suttles and homers, though the all-time leader in at-bat home runs by considerable margin, with Homer every 10.6 at-bats to one every 13.6 for runner-up to Suttles. Recent investigations into Negro League statistics using box scores from newspapers have led to estimate that although as many as 2/3 of Negro League team games were played against inferior competition as traveling exhibition games, Gibson still hit 100 to 200 home runs in official Negro League games, though this number appears to be very conservative next to the favorable with the rates of the top 9 home run hitters in Major League history. The commonly cited home runs total in excess of 800 not indicative of his career total in official games because the Negro League season was much shorter than the Major League season, typically consisting of fewer than 60 games per year. The additional home runs cited were most likely accomplished in unofficial games against local and non-Negro League competition of varying strength, including barnstorming competition. In 9 of his seasons played in the Negro Leagues, he was selected to the East-West All-Star 12 times, which included double-duty appearances in 1939, playing at Comiskey Park and Yankee Stadium. In 1942, Yankee Stadium and Griffith Stadium. In 1946, Griffith and Comiskey. In early 1943, Gibson fell into a coma and was diagnosed with a brain tumor. After regaining consciousness, he refused the option of surgical removal and lived the next 4 years with recurring headaches. In 1944, Gibson was hospitalized in Washington, D.C. at Gallinger Hospital for mental observation. On January 20, 1947, Gibson died of a stroke. At 35 years old in Pittsburgh, he was buried at Allegheny Cemetery in Lawrence neighborhood of Pittsburgh, where he lay in an unmarked grave until a small plaque was placed in 1975. Man, what a story. Great story, man. Whew, that was kind of long. Excuse me for this long, he got a heck of a story. Okay. Before I leave, I would like to say free Poppy, free Sadiq, free C Just, Supreme, free Naheem. And I would like to end this by saying, may each of you want, but never want as long as you live. May each of you live to 100 and me to 100 minus a day. So I'll never know when good people like you have passed away. May you live as long as you want, but never want as long as you live. Thank you for being with me today. Remember, if your device is not on the next play 6-7, then your device is not really on. Peace, wealth, and prosperity to all. I'm out.